My name's Jana. I'm an engineering manager at a company called Clever. I've been doing software since '93, so I'm not going to completely date myself, but you can figure it out. So today I'm going to talk about personal operating manuals. How many of you here have heard of this before? Oh, wow. Okay, good. Teaching. I love that. Okay, what's a personal operating manual? It's a handbook to you. It is a user manual that you give to your coworkers, or sometimes your friends and family, depending on what situation you want to put it in, to let them know the best way to operate you or interact with you. There's a lot of different guidelines for operating manuals online. I didn't come up with this. I was introduced to it last year at my company's summer retreat, and I've been promoting it ever since. But these are probably the 6 staples you'll find that should be in stuff. What is my style? And by the way, I'll give examples of this later on with my own. But your style is how you work, what do you take to the office, what do you feel like is like how you want to do your job. I'm like, oh, I'm an introvert, I like to sit alone in the dark and write code. Or I want to run everything through a whiteboard, for a session for that. What I value, what's important to you personally about the things you do, or the things you see, or the people you work with. What I don't have patience for. We all have our pet peeves. We all have the things that really get on our nerves. Hopefully they're not things that you'll run across all the time. But these are some of the things you want to let other people know not to do around you if they can avoid it. How best to communicate with me. We have dozens of methods of communication. Phone, text, email, Slack, Facebook Messenger, whatever you want it to be, Zoom. So what works best for me, to get my concept across or to understand your concepts? What folks may misunderstand about me? Because, most people see the presentation you give, they might not understand what's going on in you. For example, I have ADHD and I'm on the autism spectrum. You're not going to notice that by looking at me. Well, some of you might actually recognize what I'm doing. So that's something that people know about, as long as you're comfortable with doing it. And how to help me. If I'm doing something wrong, you need to teach me something, or if something comes up and you're like, that doesn't look right. What's the best way to give me feedback? Sorry, I get dry mouth when I talk. So, why have a personal operating manual? And I'm going to preface all of this by saying, not every work environment will support this. There are some work environments that are toxic or overbearing. This will not work at. I hope you don't work in one of those. Or maybe if you do, you can start talking to your HR department about, hey, this is a good idea, let's do it. The first thing is, this is going to enhance everyone's psychological safety. If you know how I work, and I know how you work, and we can reference this when we're doing a project together, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to feel safe with each other. And that's, I would say, one of the most important things to do if you're working with someone else. It's going to increase collaboration, because now you know how to talk to each other. If I'm talking to Joe at work, and Joe likes to use Zoom, I will schedule meetings with Joe. If Sally likes to use Slack, I will Slack to Sally all the time. I won't make her do Zoom calls, and I won't make Joe do Slack, unless there's a big meeting or something like that, So this helps make sure we have better ways to communicate, and we know how we all communicate. It reduces social misconceptions. We all have our biases, whether they're conscious or unconscious, and we all have the perceptions that you see. I mean, you look at me and you see a very large person. Look very feminine, so you hear my voice, it sounds kind of masculine, or in that range. So you'll start making assumptions. And you'll start reacting to that subconsciously. But if you know about me, or if you see me, my eyes drifting off, you're like, oh, no, I read that. She's got ADHD. This is what happens. It's okay. No reason to misconstrue that. You'll also understand your coworkers' motivations. So like, if you're here to work and you like doing back-end development, for example, and I like doing front-end, well, that makes it easier to divide our team project together, right? If you're motivated to give the best user experience, and I'm motivated to have the most streamlined database, it's better to divide the work up that way, if possible. And along with all that other stuff, it cultivates empathy. The more you get to know someone, the more empathetic you are with them. I don't know any of you in the crowd. You're going to know a lot about me in a minute. But right now, there might not be any empathy. You're like, oh, it's Jana on stage. Cool, whatever. You can take it or leave it. And finally, also improved communication. Along with the collaboration aspect, communication is what makes teams work. And a good team knows how to talk to each other. So, a quick pause for some water. Those are the basic concepts. It's really quite simple. You get everybody together, you say, hey, write this up for yourselves. We'll go in a meeting, we'll talk about it. And just make sure everybody knows, hey, it's a safe space to talk about this stuff, but if you don't want to bring a certain thing up, don't. Because I don't want you to be uncomfortable while you're talking about yourself. So, my style. I'm not going to read all these because most of these are a wall of text. But to give you an overview, I'm a manager, so I trust my team. I take the Picard approach, not the Kirk approach. I'll sit down in the room with them. They all have the right opinions because they're the experts. I trust they know what they're talking about. I will do that. I always approach managing equitably and inclusively and fairly. And I try my best to make sure that everyone feels safe. So, one of the things I always like to say, though, is never be afraid to say, I don't know. Do it in an interview, and if they don't like you because you said, I don't know, you don't want to work there. Because if you can't say, I don't know, you can't learn. And if I, as a manager, can't trust you to say, I don't know in an interview, I have to wonder if you're okay with learning, or are you just going to BS me? Okay, this is a lot. These are my personal values. I broke them down to 3 categories for my team: personal, professional, and engineering. Everything here stems from fairness. Fairness and everybody and happiness. Be fair to others, but also be fair to yourself. Go do the things that make you happy if you can. And if at all possible, make sure that someone else can achieve their happiness if you have the option to do so. Also things like proactively communicate. Don't wait till the end of sprint to tell me you didn't get any work done. Let me know as soon as you found out. It's okay. Sometimes you can't do stuff. And to hark back to a few earlier talks, testing. Testing, and more testing. And then when you're done, test again. So, what I don't have patience for. The top 3 things: dishonesty, bullying, and bigotry. They have been a part of my life far too much, from friends to relatives to coworkers to classmates. I have 0 tolerance for that. If you're going to lie to me, you're going to bully someone on my team, or you're going to be a bigot to someone on my team, or anyone I can notice you're doing it to, I'm going to call you out on it. And you're either going to stop, or we're going to have a problem. And also, give everybody a chance to speak, please. Some people are quiet. They take some time to think. They don't speak. It's important. Oh, and the final one there I love the most. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter whether you meant to do anything or not. It's what you did and the impact it had that makes the difference. If I came up and insulted you by accident, well, I didn't mean to do that. I walk away. Well, that didn't do anything. It's like, no, I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. I will learn from that, and that was my bad. How to best communicate with me. I personally find it easier to have voice communications to explain complex topics because I can ask questions. It's easier for me to grasp the concepts and go fast. I think quickly, I can do improv like that, so it helps me just speed through the concept. So if you got a big document for me to read, that's great too. Sometimes you just have to pour through an API. That's fine. What you may misunderstand about me. I struggle with auditory processing. I see words when I talk. So I won't get word puns. I'll have the wrong homonym in place. I can't conduct a meeting where I'm the one, speaking the most or controlling it, and take notes because that's two separate word streams that collide. Bad idea. My eyes wander, no big deal. I'm still paying attention. It's just something shiny happened over there, and my eyes darted to it. So yeah. And how to help me. If you can, take notes. It's not always warranted to take notes, and I certainly will not make someone else take notes, but if you can, please do. And if someone's taking notes, I'm always going to make sure that they don't feel obligated and that it's not always the same person. Because sometimes people get to that point, oh, that's the only woman in the room. They're going to be taking notes, aren't they? No. Tell me if I need to make a change. I make mistakes. I insulted him. But I can learn from that. Please let me know. And as an ADHD person, I need precise and detailed instructions if you can give it, because I'll want to go down it. I can manage if it's ambiguous because that's the problem, but if you want me something detailed or something exactly how you want me to do it, you got to tell me what that is. So that's it. I hope we didn't run over. That was a fast 10-minute talk.